Before we continue, please tell us where in the world are you tuning in from? We love seeing how far our stories travel. The Saturday afternoon sun beat down on the parking lot of Tam's Diner just outside Tucson, Arizona. Marcus Stone cut the engine of his Harley Davidson, the rumble fading into the desert heat. Behind him, 8 more bikes pulled in, his crew, the Iron Brotherhood. Leather-clad and road-weary after 200 miles of highway. Finally, Rico called out, pulling off his helmet. "I'm starving." Marcus stretched, his back cracking after the long ride. At 42, he wasn't as young as he used to be, but he could still outlast most of his crew on the road. The Iron Brotherhood wasn't like other motorcycle clubs. No colors, no territory wars, no illegal activities. Just men who loved their bikes, valued loyalty, and believed in helping people who couldn't help themselves. They'd started as veterans, Marcus included. Army Ranger, 2 tours in Afghanistan. Home with scars that didn't show, and a need for brotherhood that the civilian world couldn't fill. The bikes gave them purpose. The road gave them peace. And the code they lived by. Protect the defenseless, help the helpless, never ride past someone in need, gave them meaning. "Let's eat," Marcus said. Heading toward the diner entrance. That's when he saw her, a little girl, maybe 7 years old, standing near the dumpsters at the edge of the parking lot. Thin, too thin, wearing a stained pink t-shirt that was at least 2 sizes too big and shorts with holes in them. Her dark hair was tangled, her face smudged with dirt. But it was her eyes that stopped Marcus's cold, old eyes. Eyes that had seen too much. She was watching the diner entrance. Her small hands clasped together, clearly working up courage for something. "Boss, you coming?" Rico asked. "Go ahead. Order me the usual. I'll be right there." Marcus changed direction, walking slowly toward the girl. She noticed him approaching and tensed, ready to run. He stopped 10 feet away, keeping his distance, making himself less threatening. "Hey there," he said gently. "You okay?" The girl studied him, taking in the leather vest, the beard, the size of him. Marcus knew what he looked like. 6'3", 220 pounds of muscle and ink, intimidating as all get out. But he also knew how to talk to scared kids. He'd done it enough overseas. "I'm hungry," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Marcus's heart clenched. "When did you last eat?" She thought about it. "Yesterday, maybe. I had some crackers. Where are your parents?" Her face closed off. "My mama's at home. She's sick. What about your dad?" "Don't have one. Just mama." Marcus glanced back at the diner. Through the window, he could see his crew settling into a big corner booth. They'd understand if he was late. "What's your name, kiddo?" "Emma." "Emma, I'm Marcus. How about I buy you some lunch? You can eat here, or I can get it to go if you need to get back to your mama." Suspicion flickered across her face. "Why would you do that?" "Because you're hungry, and I can help. That's reason enough." Emma looked at the diner, then at Marcus, then at her feet. She was wrestling with something, pride, maybe, or fear of strangers. Finally, hunger won. "Can I get something for Mama too? She hasn't eaten either." "Absolutely. Let's go inside and you can tell me what you both like." Marcus led the way into the diner, Emma trailing a few steps behind. The conversation died when they entered. A little girl in rags following a biker wasn't exactly a common sight. Marcus ignored the stares and headed to the counter. "Hey, Sarah," he greeted the waitress, a woman in her 50s who'd been working there for decades. Marcus: "Honey, the usual for you and the boys?" "Yeah, but first, this is Emma. She needs to order some food to go. Whatever she wants, and don't worry about the price." Sarah's expression softened immediately. She'd seen enough hardship in her years to recognize it. "Of course, sweetheart. What sounds good?" Emma stared at the menu board like it was written in another language. I don't know. What's good? Everything's good here, Sarah said kindly. But if I were picking for my daughter, I'd get the cheeseburger with fries. And maybe a chocolate milkshake. How does that sound? Really? Emma's eyes went wide. That sounds amazing. Great. And for your mama? The same. You got it. Give me about 15 minutes. Marcus guided Emma to an empty booth away from his crew. They were watching with interest, but knew better than to crowd the kid. He slid into the seat across from her. So, Emma, you live around here? She nodded. Not far. Maybe a mile? Did you walk here? Yes, sir. In this heat. That's a long walk. I'm used to it. She said it matter-of-factly, like walking a mile in 100-degree heat was normal. Like begging for food was normal. Marcus felt that familiar burn in his chest. The one that came from seeing something fundamentally wrong in the world and not being able to fix it with his fists. Tell me about your mama. What kind of sick is she? Emma's face crumpled slightly before she forced it back to neutral. She's real sick. She can't get out of bed most days. Her stomach hurts all the time and she throws up a lot. She tried to go to the doctor, but they said we need insurance and money and we don't have either. How long has she been sick? Couple months, I guess. Maybe longer. It's hard to remember who's taking care of you. I take care of myself. And Mama, when she needs it. 7 years old, and she was the caretaker. Marcus had seen this before, overseas and stateside. Kids forced to grow up too fast because life didn't give them any other choice. What about other family? Grandparents, aunts, uncles? Emma shook her head. Mama's parents died before I was born. And she doesn't talk to her brother anymore. They had a fight a long time ago. Friends? Neighbors. We don't really know anybody. We only moved here 6 months ago. Mama said we needed a fresh start. Fresh start from what? Marcus wondered, but didn't push. Sarah appeared with 2 large bags of food and 2 milkshakes. Here you go, sweetie. I threw in some extra fries and a couple pieces of pie. Growing girl needs her food. Thank you, Emma whispered. Staring at the bags like they contained treasure, Marcus pulled out his wallet and handed Sarah to 20s. Keep the change. Marcus, that's too much. It's never too much for a kid who needs it. Emma carefully picked up the bags and the milkshakes. Thank you, Mr. Marcus. This is the nicest thing anyone's done for us in a really long time. She turned to leave, and Marcus made a split-second decision. Emma, wait. How about I give you a ride home? It's hot out there, and you've got a lot to carry. Fear flashed across her face. Mama says I shouldn't get in cars with strangers. Your mama's smart. That's good advice. Marcus thought for a moment. How about this? I'll walk with you. Help you carry the bags. That way I'm not a stranger anymore, and your mama can meet me. She can see I'm just trying to help. Emma considered this seriously. Okay, but if you try anything weird, I'll scream really loud. Fair enough. I'd expect nothing less. Asterisk, they stepped back into the heat. Marcus's crew watched them leave, questions in their eyes, but none of them said a word. They knew Marcus. If he was doing something, there was a good reason. The walk was brutal. A mile in direct sunlight. Temperature pushing 105. Emma trudged along without complaint, sipping her milkshake. Occasionally looking up at Marcus like she couldn't quite believe he was real. Mr. Marcus, why do you ride motorcycles? I like the freedom. The road, the wind, the feeling that anything's possible. Aren't they dangerous? They can be. But so can a lot of things. Life's dangerous. Might as well do something you love. Do you have kids? The question hit harder than Marcus expected. No. Never got married, never had kids. Probably should have, but the timing never seemed right. That's sad. Maybe. But I've got my brothers. The guys I ride with, they're my family. That's nice. Emma was quiet for a moment. I wish I had brothers or sisters. It gets lonely sometimes. I bet it does, kiddo. They turned down a side street lined with mobile homes in various states of disrepair. Emma led him to the third one from the end. A faded blue trailer with a broken step and windows covered in aluminum foil. "This is us," she said quietly, and Marcus could hear the shame in her voice. "Home is home," he said firmly. "Nothing to be embarrassed about." Emma climbed the steps carefully, balancing the bags and drinks. She opened the door and called out, "Mama, I got food. And I brought someone to meet you." Marcus waited outside, giving the woman inside time to prepare herself. He heard movement, slow and painful. Then a weak voice. "Emma, baby, what do you mean you brought someone?" "He's nice, Mama. He bought us lunch." Marcus heard more movement. Then Emma appeared at the door. "You can come in." The interior of the trailer was dark, hot, and sparse. A small couch with springs poking through. A TV that looked older than Emma. A tiny kitchen with one working burner. And in the back, in what must be the bedroom, a woman's silhouette. Marcus moved slowly, letting his eyes adjust. The woman was sitting up in bed, barely. She looked like she'd been beautiful once. Dark hair like Emma's, but dull now and tangled. Pale skin, hollow cheeks, eyes that were bright with fever or pain or both. "Ma'am, I'm Marcus Stone. I met Emma outside the diner. She was hungry, so I got her some food." The woman, she couldn't have been more than 30, looked at him with a mix of gratitude and terror. "Thank you for helping my daughter. I'm sorry she bothered you. She didn't bother me. She told me you've been sick. I wanted to make sure you both had something to eat." "That's very kind." Her voice was tight with pain. "Emma, honey, can you bring me some water?" Emma scurried off to the kitchen. Marcus stayed near the doorway, not wanting to intrude further. "Ma'am, I don't mean to overstep, but have you seen a doctor?" Her laugh was bitter. "Can't afford a doctor?" "Can't afford much of anything right now. I lost my job when I got sick. No insurance, no savings, no family to help." "We're managing. Mama's tough," Emma said, returning with a glass of water. "She's going to get better soon." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "That's right, baby. Mama's going to be just fine." But Marcus could see she didn't believe it. And looking at her, the way she held her stomach, the gray tinge to her skin, the way her hands shook, he didn't believe it either. "What's your name, ma'am?" "Rebecca." "Rebecca Martinez." "Rebecca, I know we just met, but I'd like to help if you'll let me. I have friends who are doctors, people who owe me favors. Let me make some calls. I can't pay you." "I'm not asking you to. Why would you help us? You don't even know us." Marcus thought about that. About the kids he'd seen in Afghanistan, hungry and scared. About coming home and realizing the same thing happened here. About the code he and his brothers lived by. Because Emma's 7 years old and she's walking a mile in 100-degree heat to beg for food. Because you're sick and scared and alone. Because I can help, and that makes it my responsibility. That's reason enough. Rebecca stared at him for a long moment. "Are you real? Or am I hallucinating from the fever?" "I'm real. And I'm not leaving until I know you're going to be okay." "Mama, let him help," Emma pleaded. "Please." Rebecca's resistance crumbled. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Okay. Thank you." Marcus pulled out his phone and stepped outside. The heat hit him like a wall, but he barely noticed. He scrolled through his contacts and found the name he needed. Dr. Sarah Chen. She'd served as a medic in his unit. Saved his life twice and now ran a free clinic on the west side of Tucson. The phone rang twice. Marcus Stone. This better be good. I'm in the middle of a shift. Sarah, I need a favor. Big one. Of course you do. What's wrong? He explained quickly. Rebecca, Emma, the sickness, the poverty, the desperation. Where are you? He gave her the address. I can be there in 40 minutes. Tell her to hang on. Thanks, Sarah, I owe you. You owe me nothing. You saved my life in Kandahar. This makes us even. Marcus went back inside. Emma had set out the food on the small table and was trying to get her mother to eat. Rebecca managed a few bites of burger before nausea forced her to stop. A doctor friend of mine is coming, Marcus told them. Her name's Sarah. She's good people, and she'll figure out what's wrong. I told you, Emma whispered to her mother. I told you he was nice. The 40 minutes felt like hours. Marcus sat on the broken step outside, giving Rebecca privacy, but listening carefully in case she needed anything. Emma came out and sat beside him. Mr. Marcus, is your friend really a doctor? She really is. One of the best I know. Will she make Mama better? Marcus wanted to promise her that. Wanted to tell her everything would be fine. But he'd learned a long time ago that some promises shouldn't be made. She'll do everything she can. That's all any of us can do. Emma nodded solemnly. Mama's all I have. If something happens to her, I don't know what I'll do. Nothing's going to happen to her. We're going to figure this out. A car pulled up. Sarah, Chen, still in her scrubs, jumped out with a medical bag. She was small, barely 5 feet tall, but Marcus had seen her carry wounded soldiers twice her size. Marcus? She nodded at him. Then smiled at Emma. You must be Emma. I'm Dr. Chen. Thank you for coming. Emma said quietly. Sarah knelt down to her level. Of course, sweetheart. Now, I need to examine your mama. That means asking her some personal questions and checking her over. Would you like to stay, or would you rather wait out here with Marcus? I'll stay. I always take care of Mama. That's very brave. Let's go see what we can figure out. They went inside. Marcus waited, pacing the small yard, running scenarios in his head. Cancer, infection, something chronic and untreated. Nothing good. 20 minutes later, Sarah emerged, her face grim. Well, she needs to be in a hospital. Like yesterday. I think it's acute appendicitis, possibly already ruptured. If I'm right, she's got sepsis setting in. Without surgery and antibiotics, she's got maybe 48 hours, probably less. Marcus felt ice in his veins. She says she can't afford a hospital. Then she'll die. It's that simple. Not acceptable. Marcus, I know you want to help, but this is serious. We're talking major surgery. I see you stay. Weeks of recovery. Even at a charity hospital, we're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. I'll cover it. Sarah blinked. What? Whatever it costs. I'll cover it. Just get her to a hospital. Cuss. That's insane. You don't even know these people. I know a little girl who's been taking care of her dying mother for months. I know a woman who's too proud or too scared to ask for help. I know if I walk away, Emma ends up in foster care and Rebecca ends up in a grave. That's all I need to know. Sarah studied him for a long moment. You're a good man, Marcus Stone. I'm a man who can help. That's all. Okay? I'll call an ambulance. But Marcus, even with surgery, there are no guarantees. I know. But we have to try. 20 minutes later, an ambulance pulled up. The EMTs loaded Rebecca onto a stretcher. She was barely conscious now, the infection taking hold. Emma tried to climb in with her. Sweetie, you can't ride in the ambulance, one of the EMTs said gently. But I need to be with Mama. Marcus knelt beside Emma. "I'll take you to the hospital. I promise. You'll see your mama as soon as they let you. You promise." "I promise." Emma grabbed his hand, her small fingers wrapping around two of his. "Don't leave us, Mr. Marcus. Please don't leave us." Marcus felt something crack in his chest. "I'm not going anywhere, kiddo. You're stuck with me now." The ambulance pulled away, sirens wailing. Emma stood frozen, watching it disappear. Marcus gently guided her toward his bike, bare-ridden on a motorcycle. She shook her head. "Well, there's a first time for everything. It's going to be loud and fast, but I promise I'll keep you safe. You trust me?" Emma looked up at him with those old eyes. "I don't have much choice, do I?" "You always have a choice, Emma. Always." She thought about it, then nodded. "Okay, I trust you." Marcus got his spare helmet from the saddlebag, adjusted it carefully on her head. "Hold on tight and lean when I lean. Got it? Got it." He started the engine. Emma's arms wrapped around his waist, tiny but surprisingly strong. And as they roared down the highway toward the hospital, Marcus made a silent promise. Whatever happened next, this little girl would be okay. Even if he had to move heaven and earth to make it so, because that's what the Iron Brotherhood did. They protected the defenseless, and Emma Martinez was now under their protection. The hospital was chaos when they arrived. Marcus parked illegally right by the emergency room entrance and carried Emma inside. She hadn't let go of his hand since they got off the bike. A nurse at the desk looked up. "Can I help you?" "Rebecca Martinez. She came in by ambulance about 30 minutes ago. This is her daughter." The nurse checked her computer. "She's in surgery. The waiting room is down the hall to the left." Marcus led Emma to the waiting room, a depressing space with uncomfortable chairs and outdated magazines. Sarah was already there, pacing. "I took her straight to surgery," she said. "Dr. Patel is one of the best. If anyone can save her, he can. Asterisk, how long? Could be hours. Depends on what they find when they open her up." Marcus settled into a chair, Emma immediately curling up beside him. Within minutes, she was asleep, exhausted from stress and fear and the unusual safety of having someone else in charge. Sarah sat down across from them. "You're really going to pay for this?" "Every penny. Marcus, you're not a rich man. I've got savings, and I can pick up extra work. This could bankrupt you. Then I'll be bankrupt. But that little girl won't be alone." Sarah smiled sadly. "You know you can't save everyone, right?" "Maybe not. But I can save this one." 3 hours passed, then 4. Emma woke up once, disoriented and scared, but calmed when she saw Marcus still there. He got her a soda from the vending machine and a bag of pretzels. Not much, but better than nothing. Finally, a surgeon emerged, still in his scrubs. Dr. Patel, according to his badge. Family of Rebecca Martinez. Marcus stood, gently moving Emma behind him. "I'm with her daughter." Dr. Patel looked confused, but continued. "She's out of surgery. It was a ruptured appendix with significant sepsis. We removed the appendix, cleaned out the infection, and started her on broad-spectrum antibiotics. The next 48 hours are critical. If she can fight off the infection, she'll make a full recovery." "Can I see Mama?" Emma asked quietly. "She's in recovery right now. Then I see you. But yes, in a little while, you can see her." "Is she going to be okay?" Dr. Patel knelt down. "I hope so, sweetheart. Your mama's a fighter. She held on this long, which tells me she's tough. Now we just have to give her body time to heal." After the doctor left, Sarah pulled Marcus aside. "The hospital's going to want insurance information, a payment plan, something. Let them know I'm covering it. Whatever they need, send the bills to me." "Marcus, you're insane." "Probably. but I'm okay with that. 2 hours later, a nurse led them to ICU. Rebecca was pale, tubes and wires everywhere, but breathing steadily. Emma stood frozen at the doorway. "It's okay," Marcus said gently. "She looks scary, but all this stuff is helping her. Go talk to her." Emma approached slowly, then took her mother's hand. "Mama, it's me. You're going to be okay. Mr. Marcus got you a doctor and everything. You just need to rest now. I'll be right here." Rebecca's eyes fluttered open for just a second. Recognition, relief, then nothing as the sedation pulled her back under. A social worker appeared at Marcus's elbow. Young woman, clipboard, concerned expression. "Hi, I'm Jennifer Clark. I need to ask some questions about Emma's care while her mother recovers." "Shoot. Is there family we can contact?" "Someone who can take Emma." "No family." "Friends?" "None that I know of." Jennifer frowned. "Then we'll need to contact Child Protective Services. Emma can't stay here, and she can't go home alone." Emma's head snapped up, terror in her eyes. "No, you can't take me away from Mama." "Sweetie, it's just temporary until your mom gets better." "I don't care." "I'm not leaving." Marcus made another split-second decision. "She can stay with me." Everyone stared at him. "Excuse me?" Jennifer said, "I have a house with a spare bedroom. She can stay with me until her mother recovers." "Sir, I appreciate the offer, but we can't just place a child with a stranger." "I'm not a stranger anymore. And I'm betting foster care's overwhelmed and underfunded. I'm offering a safe place for Emma to stay where she can visit her mother every day. That seems better than the alternative." Jennifer looked between Marcus and Emma. "It's not that simple. There are procedures, background checks, home visits, then do them. But until you do, Emma stays with me. Because the alternative is dragging a traumatized 7-year-old away from her dying mother and sticking her with strangers. And I won't let that happen." "Mr. Marcus," Emma whispered, "you'd really let me stay with you?" "As long as you need, kiddo." Jennifer sighed. "Okay, here's what we can do. Temporary emergency placement, pending background check, and home visit. I'll need to see your ID, get your address, run a quick preliminary check. If everything looks good, Emma can go home with you tonight. But if anything comes up, anything at all, she goes into the system. Understood?" "Understood." The next few hours were a blur of paperwork and phone calls. Marcus's record was clean. His house passed the initial evaluation, and by midnight he was leading an exhausted Emma to his truck. He'd called Rico to pick up his bike from the hospital. "This is weird, right?" Emma said as they drove through empty streets. "Me staying with you. Definitely weird. But we'll figure it out. What if Mama doesn't get better? Then we'll figure that out too. One step at a time, Emma." His house was small but clean. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, a backyard with grass that needed mowing. He showed Emma to the spare room. It was basic. A bed, a dresser, nothing fancy. "I know it's not much. It's perfect," Emma said quietly. "Mr. Marcus, why are you doing all this?" Marcus sat on the edge of the bed. "You know what I did before I started riding motorcycles?" She shook her head. "I was a soldier. I went to places where bad things were happening and tried to help people who couldn't help themselves. When I came home, I thought I was done with that. But the thing is, Emma, there are people who need help everywhere. Sometimes all someone needs is for one person to stop and say, 'I see you. I'm here. You're not alone. That's all I'm doing. But you're giving us so much, because I can. That's reason enough.'" Emma threw her arms around him, burying her face in his shoulder. "Thank you, Mr. Marcus. Thank you for saving Mama. Thank you for not leaving us." Marcus hugged her back. This tiny kid who'd been carrying the weight of the world. "You're welcome, kiddo. Now get some sleep." Tomorrow, we'll go see your mama first thing. After Emma was asleep, Marcus sat on his back porch with a beer and his phone. He pulled up his contacts and sent a group text to his crew. Need to talk tomorrow. Something's come up. The responses came immediately. Rico, everything okay, boss? Jake, need backup? Tommy, we're here if you need us. That was the Brotherhood. No questions, just support. Marcus smiled and texted back. Everything's fine. Just need to fill you in. Meet at the garage at noon. He sat there for a long time, thinking about Emma, about Rebecca, about the strange turn his life had just taken. 24 hours ago, he'd been a simple man with a simple life. Now he was responsible for a little girl's well-being and her mother's medical bills. Some might call it crazy, but Marcus called it right inside. Emma slept soundly for the first time in months. Because for the first time in a very long time, she wasn't alone. The morning sun streamed through Marcus's kitchen window as he attempted to make pancakes. Emma sat at the table, watching him with barely concealed amusement. Mr. Marcus, I think pancakes are supposed to be round. Marcus looked down at the misshapen blob in the pan. This is round. Abstract round. That's a nice way of saying it looks terrible. Despite everything, Marcus laughed. When did 7-year-olds get so honest? Mama says honesty is important, even when it hurts. They ate the terrible pancakes together, then headed to the hospital. Rebecca was awake, groggy but aware. Her eyes filled with tears when she saw Emma. "Baby girl," she whispered. "I'm so sorry I scared you. It's okay, Mama. Mr. Marcus helped. He's taking care of me until you're better." Rebecca's gaze shifted to Marcus, standing in the doorway. "I don't know how to thank you. Don't thank me yet. We've got a long road ahead, but we'll walk it together." At noon, Marcus pulled into the garage where his crew gathered. 8 motorcycles lined up, 8 men who'd become brothers through shared roads and shared purpose. Emma clung to his hand, nervous around so many strangers. Rico saw them first. "Boss, who's the kid?" "Everyone, this is Emma. Emma, these are my brothers." The crew gathered around, these rough-looking men with kind eyes. Tommy knelt down. "Hey, Emma, you like motorcycles?" She nodded shyly. "Well, you're in the right place then." Marcus explained everything. Emma begging for food, Rebecca's surgery, the temporary custody arrangement. His crew listened without interrupting, their expressions growing more serious. "So here's the thing," Marcus finished. "Rebecca's medical bills are going to be enormous. I'm covering what I can, but it's going to take more than just me. I'm not asking you to help. This is my choice. But if any of you want to pitch in, I wouldn't say no." Jake spoke first. "How much are we talking?" "Conservatively, probably 70 to 80,000 after insurance negotiations. Maybe more, depending on how long she's in ICU." The crew exchanged glances. These weren't rich men. Most lived paycheck to paycheck, picking up work where they could. But Rico pulled out his wallet. "I've got 200 in cash right now. It's yours." "I can do 300, Tommy added. One by one, they pledged what they could. Not much individually, but together it added up. $1,000 appeared on the table in less than 5 minutes. "That's not all," Jake said. "We can organize a fundraiser. A ride, maybe? Get other clubs involved. People love supporting sick kids and their families." I'm not a sick kid," Emma said quietly. "Mama's the sick one." Jake smiled. "You're right. My apologies. We'll be supporting your mama's recovery then. We could also talk to some of the businesses we work with," Rico suggested. "See if they'd donate. Local news might pick up the story too." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "You guys don't have to do this." "Yeah, we do," Tommy said firmly. That's what brotherhood means. Your fight is our fight. And Emma's family now, which makes her mama family too. Emma looked up at Marcus, confused. I have a big family now. Looks like it, kiddo. Over the next 2 weeks, the Iron Brotherhood became Emma's constant presence. When Marcus had to work, Rico would take Emma to the hospital. When she needed new clothes, Tommy's wife Sarah took her shopping. When she had nightmares about losing her mother, Jake would sit with her and tell silly stories until she laughed. Rebecca improved slowly. The infection cleared. Her strength returned. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. The fundraiser ride happened on a Saturday. Over 200 motorcycles showed up from clubs all over Arizona. They rode in formation through Tucson, ending at a community center where local businesses had donated food. Auction items and services. Emma stood on a small stage. Microphone in hand, terrified but determined. Marcus stood beside her for support. Hi, my name is Emma Martinez. 2 weeks ago, my mama was really sick and I didn't know what to do. I was walking to a diner to ask for food when I met Mr. Marcus. He could have ignored me. Most people did. But he stopped. He bought me lunch. He followed me home. And when he saw how sick Mama was, he saved her life. Her voice grew stronger. Mr. Marcus says that when you can help someone, you should. No questions, no hesitation, just help. He and his friends have been helping us every day. And now you're all here helping too. I don't understand why strangers would be so nice, but Mr. Marcus says that's what good people do. They help because they can. So thank you. Thank you for being good people. The applause was deafening. Emma ran to Marcus, burying her face in his vest. Did I do okay? You did perfect, kiddo. The ride raised $43,000. Combined with hospital charity programs and payment plans, Marcus negotiated. It was enough. Rebecca's medical debt would be manageable. It's not crushing. 3 weeks after her surgery, Rebecca was released from the hospital. Still weak, but healing. Marcus picked them both up, Emma bouncing with excitement. Mama, wait until you see Mr. Marcus's house. It has a backyard and everything. Emma, honey, we can't impose on Mr. Marcus forever. We need to figure out our own place. About that, Marcus said carefully. I had an idea. Hear me out before you say no. Rebecca waited. My house has 3 bedrooms. You and Emma could stay in the spare rooms until you're back on your feet. No rent, no pressure. Just a safe place to heal and figure out what's next. Marcus, I can't accept that. You've already done too much. You could pay me back by helping around the house. Cooking, cleaning, whatever you can manage. Think of it as a trade, not charity. Rebecca studied him. Why? Why would you do all this for people you barely know? Marcus glanced at Emma in the rearview mirror. Because a little girl was brave enough to ask a scary-looking biker for help. And because I've learned that family isn't just blood. It's the people who show up when you need them most. Rebecca wiped her eyes. Okay, but only until I can find work and save enough for our own place. Deal. 6 months passed. Rebecca found a job as a bookkeeper for a local business. Emma started 3rd grade at the neighborhood school and joined the soccer team. She still called him Mr. Marcus, even though he'd told her 100 times. To just use his first name, Marcus's crew remained constant presences in their lives. Rico taught Emma to change a tire. Tommy's wife Sarah became Rebecca's best friend. Jake started dating Rebecca's coworker, a connection that might never have happened without this strange twist of fate. On a Saturday evening, Marcus sat on his back porch watching Emma and Piper. Rico's daughter, who'd become Emma's best friend, chased fireflies in the yard. Rebecca brought him a beer and sat down beside him. I've been saving, she said. Another 2 months and I'll have enough for first and last month's rent on a decent apartment. Marcus took a sip of beer. And if I asked you to stay? Rebecca looked at him. What? This house has been more alive in the past 6 months than the entire time I've lived here. Emma's happy. You're healthy. And I've gotten used to coming home to something other than an empty space and leftover pizza. Marcus, are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying that this arrangement works. For all of us. And maybe it doesn't have to be temporary. He paused. I'm not asking for anything romantic or complicated. Just 2 adults and a kid making a family out of circumstance and choice. Rebecca smiled. You know what's funny? 6 months ago, I thought my life was over. Thought Emma would end up in foster care and I'd die alone in that trailer. Then a biker stopped because a little girl asked for help. Best decision I ever made. Mine too. Asking for help? I spent so long trying to do everything alone. Prove I didn't need anyone. Turns out needing people isn't weakness. It's just being human. Emma ran up, breathless and laughing. Mr. Marcus, can Piper stay for a sleepover? If it's okay with Rico, he already said yes. Can we make popcorn and watch a movie? Go for it. Just keep it down after 9. The girls ran inside, giggling. Rebecca stood to follow them. Rebecca, Marcus called, she turned. For what it's worth, I'm glad your car broke down that day. Metaphorically speaking, she laughed. Me too, Marcus. Me too. 1 year after that day in the diner parking lot, Emma's teacher assigned a project, write about a hero. Emma wrote about a biker named Marcus who stopped when everyone else kept driving, who saw a hungry child and didn't look away, who taught her that family isn't who you're born to, but who chooses to stand beside you. She included a photo, Marcus, Rebecca, Emma, and the entire Iron Brotherhood crew at the annual charity ride, smiling together. Proof that sometimes the best families are the ones we build ourselves.